Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely pumped to share this one with you today. We're diving into this really wild, totally fascinating convergence between two worlds that honestly seem like they have nothing to do with each other. On one hand, you've got this insane elite physical endurance, and on the other, the everyday, modern grind of knowledge work. By the time we wrap up here, you're going to see exactly how the mental grit elite athletes use to survive just absolute physical agony is literally the exact same superpower you need to thrive in our totally distracted modern world. Let's get into it.
To start off, I want you to imagine something with me. Picture a pain so intense it actually feels like your lungs, legs, back, and muscles are on fire. Sir Stephen Redgrave, he's a 5-time Olympic gold medalist. He hit the nail on the head. He said the pain of rowing is the scream of lungs, legs, back, and muscles. Multiply that by 240 strokes in a 2,000-meter race. Wow. He mentions there's a point that hits where it just seems unimaginable that you can go on. That visceral, mind-numbing physical agony, that is exactly what elite athletes intentionally push themselves through every single time they hit the water.
All right, Section 1, the ultimate performance barrier. We're going to look at what exactly happens when humans hit their absolute, undisputed physical and mental limits.
Okay, let's dive into this. So in the endurance sports world, this barrier has a pretty famous, kind of ominous name. It's called the wall. Sports psychology researchers define hitting the wall as an extremely unpleasant experience, and that is putting it mildly. We are talking about a terrifying threshold where your body is literally begging your mind to just stop. The symptoms include a complete loss of physical coordination, overwhelming nausea, dizziness, and just this extreme physical and mental weakness. It's not just being tired, it is a total system breakdown.
Right, so now you might be wondering, what on earth does surviving a grueling 2,000-meter Olympic rowing race have to do with my email inbox or my daily work routine? Well, let's do a quick mental reset here. We're going to pivot away from the physical pain of those elite athletes and take a look at the very real, though usually invisible, cognitive struggles of the modern knowledge worker.
Which brings us to Section 2, the deep work superpower. To survive today's economy, you actually need the intellectual equivalent of elite athletic training.
This ties perfectly into a foundational concept coined by computer science professor Cal Newport in his amazing book, Deep Work. He defines deep work as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their absolute limit. So, think about it. Just like the rower pushing their physical body right to the brink, deep work pushes your brain to its limit. And the payoff? These efforts create massive new value, they skyrocket your skills, and frankly, they're incredibly hard for anyone else to replicate.
There is a super fascinating parallel we can draw here. Just as rowers face the physical and mental breakdown of the wall, we knowledge workers face our own insidious enemy. Newport calls it shallow work. Shallow work is, well, basically everything that isn't cognitively demanding. It's all those logistical-style tasks you do while, you're distracted by a dozen open browser tabs. And here's the really tragic part about it. If you spend enough time in this state of frantic shallowness, you actually permanently reduce your capacity to perform deep work at all. It's like a muscle. If you don't use it, your brain loses it.
And guys, this is a massive systemic problem right now. Just look at this number, 60%. A 2012 McKinsey study found that the average knowledge worker spends over 60% of their workweek engaged just in electronic communication and internet searching. Basically, almost 30% of a worker's time is dedicated purely to reading and answering emails. Think about that. We are spending the vast majority of our professional lives treading water in the shallow end, completely distracted from any kind of meaningful, deep thought.
But history's greatest minds actually knew how to fight this busyness. Take the famous psychiatrist Carl Jung. Back in 1922, Jung was trying to solidify his whole new school of thought, analytical psychology, and he was trying to outwit his rival, Sigmund Freud. To pull this off, he didn't just try to squeeze this massive intellectual undertaking between patient visits at his hectic Zurich clinic. No way! He went and built a stone tower in the woods of Bollingen. No electricity, just oil lamps and a fireplace. He literally built a fortress to escape busyness, to focus intensely, and ultimately to change the entire way we understand the human unconscious.
So, Section 3, strategies for breaking through. If we're going to conquer our modern digital distractions, we have to train our minds exactly like those elite rowers do.
There was this really interesting 2011 thesis by Nicole Jordans at Georgia Southern University, and it examined exactly how elite rowers push past their mental boundaries. Her research actually uncovered 6 specific tools or themes that these athletes use to break through the pain. First up is team support, just knowing your crew has your back. Second is hunger, this overwhelming, compelling desire for success. Third is preparation, both physical and mental. Fourth is framing the whole struggle as a literal war between body and mind. Fifth is hyperfocus, and sixth is unshakable confidence. Let's zoom in on a couple of these because they're absolutely crucial. Take a look at this incredibly powerful quote from an anonymous elite rower. They're describing that fourth tool, the war between body and mind. And they told researchers, "I often speak to the wall and let him know that he is not going to get the better of me today." I mean, they literally personify the barrier. They realize that their physical body is just fishing for an excuse to stop, so they use this fierce, intense self-talk to let their mind take control of the pain. The big takeaway here? This battle is won in the mind long before it's won in the body.
And this brilliantly illustrates the fifth tool, focus. Another rower explained their coping strategy like this: focusing on one thing, one stroke at a time. They intentionally block out everything else, the finish line, the other boats, the cameras. It's just about taking one more stroke. Think about how perfectly this applies to our modern work lives. We have to learn how to block out the digital pings, the instant messages, the endless social feeds, and just focus our attention on one single cognitively demanding task at a time.
All right, Section 4, Thriving in the New Economy. Let's look at the harsh economic realities of the modern world and why this kind of extreme focus is absolutely critical for your career.
MIT economists Eric Brynjolfsson and Andrew McAfee make this really compelling argument that we're in the early throes of a great restructuring, totally driven by digital technology. And this new economy, it's mercilessly dividing workers. According to them, only 3 groups are going to thrive. First, you've got high-skilled workers. These are people with the almost magical ability to work with and tease complex results out of intelligent machines. Think of someone like data whiz Nate Silver. Second, the superstars. This is the best-in-class remote talent who can service top-tier clients globally because, technology has completely destroyed regional boundaries. And third, the owners, the people with the capital to actually invest in these new technologies. So if you want to land in those first 2 groups, you absolutely need the ability to quickly master hard things.
To show you what I mean, let me tell you this super inspiring story from Newport's research about a guy named Jason Ben. Jason was a financial consultant. He was essentially working as a human spreadsheet, right? Just doing this mundane data manipulation that he quickly realized could be entirely automated by a simple Excel macro. He saw the writing on the wall. He knew he wasn't going to be valuable in this new economy. So he makes this bold choice to become a computer programmer. But there is a huge roadblock. He was horribly addicted to the internet. He couldn't focus to save his life. So he took a drastic approach. He quit his job, locked himself in a room without a computer, just textbooks, note cards, and a highlighter. He literally forced himself to practice intense, distraction-free concentration just to conquer his internet compulsion. It was just like a rower training for a race. Ben systematically trained his brain's ability to do deep work. After that, he enrolled in a notoriously brutal 100-hour-a-week coding boot camp. And because of all that intense mental training and his newfound ability to laser focus, he ended up graduating as the top student in his class. And here is the ultimate payoff for all that deep work. He leaped from a $40,000 a year salary as a human spreadsheet to a massive $100,000 tech job in Silicon Valley. I mean, deep work literally pays off.
So, what does this all mean for us? I want to leave you with this thought. We live in a world where constant distraction is just the norm, which means the ability to concentrate intensely is becoming incredibly rare. And because it's rare, it is amazingly valuable. It really is the ultimate 21st century superpower. So I have to ask you, when your mind begs you to surrender to those easy, shallow digital distractions, when you hit your own cognitive barrier, will you let the wall defeat you, or will you build your own tower of focus? Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.